Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel War Zone. Today we're diving deep into a controversial geopolitical narrative. Putin crawls to Belarus for help. Ukraine took everything from Russia. This video will break down the storyline as though it were a product, exploring its exterior, interior, performance, safety features, unique selling points, price, the cost or consequences, and then wrap up with a conclusion. Let's get started. Imagine this narrative as a vehicle. On the exterior, it presents a bold, dramatic front. Vladimir Putin is portrayed as weak, desperate, in retreat, forced to rely entirely on Belarus in order to salvage what remains of Russia's might. The visual imagery you might see in such narratives: maps showing shrinking Russian control zones, Belarusian flags looming over Russian soil, arrows of retreat, a President Vladimir Putin depicted as crawling or pleading at Minsk's doorstep. The tone is confrontational. The narrative frames Russia as being cornered, stripped of power by Ukrainian resistance, and now relying on a lesser regional ally. The exterior messaging emphasizes vulnerability, betrayal, collapse. Under that skin, the interior of this narrative is tighter and more confined. Here we see the assumptions, data points, and rhetorical devices that Russia lost so much to Ukraine: territory, prestige, resources, that it no longer stands on its own. That Belarus is now Russia's lifeline, that Putin has no choice but to depend on Lukashenko. The interior is shorter, compressed, offering only enough detail to reinforce the front-facing image without exposing weaknesses. It may quote certain losses Russia sustained, cite Belarus's logistical support, or reference Belarus hosting troops or missile systems, but it often lacks depth. Which losses, which resources, and how much those remain vague or selectively framed. When it comes to performance, as a narrative, this one delivers high drama and clarity. It's engineered to provoke strong emotional reactions: resentment toward Russia, sympathy for Ukraine, suspicion of Belarus. It performs best in media spaces that favor bold claims over nuance. It resonates with viewers already inclined to see Russia as declining, but its performance has limits. It struggles under scrutiny. When asked for precise metrics: how much did Russia lose? What exactly did Ukraine take? To what extent is Belarus helping? Gaps appear. Also, it may oversimplify. Large wars rarely reduce to one-sided theft. In real diplomatic and military conflicts, gains and losses are complex and contested. So while in certain circles the performance is effective, stirring conversations, reinforcing divides for audiences that demand nuance, it may seem shallow or propagandistic. Considering safety features in the narrative, meaning, what defenses or rhetorical shields does it have? It employs several. It often frames its claims as inevitable or logically forced. Putin had no choice but to crawl to Belarus. Suggests no alternative. It also employs false polarization. If you don't agree, you're siding with weakness. It sometimes absorbs critique by acknowledging small, complicating facts. Yes, Russia still retains strong forces in some areas, but then asserts they are exceptions, not undermining the main thrust. It may shift blame to internal corruption or supply chain breakdowns, painting external pressures, Ukraine sanctions, as the dominant cause, thereby deflecting deeper structural criticism of the Russian state or regime. Turning to unique selling points of this narrative, first, it sells clarity in a chaotic war, a compact storyline of victim and aggressor, culprit and victim. It appeals to audiences craving decisiveness. Putin is losing, plain and simple. Second, it piggybacks on existing perceptions about Russian decline, sanctions, and military setbacks, thereby feeling credible to many. Third, it uses symbolism: crawling, dependence, surrender, which is visually potent and memorable. And fourth, it positions Belarus in a dramatic role, elevating what might otherwise be a secondary actor into a key savior, making the story more dynamic. Now, what is the price, the cost of adopting this narrative? First, intellectual cost. Nuance is lost. People may dismiss complexities, internal Russian reforms, or adaptive strategies. Second, reputational cost. Belarus is portrayed as a subservient extension of Moscow, possibly alienating nuance toward Minsk's own agency. Third, geopolitical cost. If listeners accept too readily that Russia is gutted, they might underestimate Russia's resilience, leading to strategic complacency. Fourth, moral or discursive cost. Real suffering and multidimensional causality get reduced to a simplistic drama of a weakened tyrant begging for aid. In short, the price is the oversimplification of a tragic, shifting war. In conclusion, this narrative, framed as Putin crawls to Belarus for help, Ukraine took everything, is compelling and rhetorically strong. Its exterior draws immediate attention. Its interior provides just enough substance to support the appearance. Its performance evokes strong reactions. Its safety features protect it from casual critique. Its unique selling points make it shareable, but its cost is the erasure of nuance and complexity. If you adopt it, do so with caution, always asking, what's left out? What counter-evidence exists? How might Russia still adapt or resist? The truth is seldom that total. Thanks for watching this breakdown. Stay sharp out there.